You remember when Brett shit in that urinal?
Which time? Remember when he mooned a bunch of people and they identified his ass and got in trouble at school? They just knew what his ass looked like.
But do you remember when I got suspended? I got suspended a little bit.
Do you remember when my wife asked for an hour by herself?
Do you remember when we'd go to the park and Adrian wanted to play sit, where we just do nothing? That's all I want to do in life, buddy.
Welcome to another week of dysfunction. Here's Jackie and Matt.
Hey, it's me. It's me too.
How have you been?
So how's everything?
Good. I'm finally getting better. I was literally sick nonstop for a whole month. I had COVID, and then I ended up having to get my wisdom teeth taken out. Then I got an infection for my wisdom teeth. And then I had a small surgery to relax my muscle in my jaw hinge. And yeah, now I have like really bad cold. But I'm like one day away from being completely better, so I'm not complaining.
There you go.
How have you been?
I've been very good. Things are back on an upswing. Well, so a few things have changed. My older boy, who we had been homeschooling, which I spoke to you about last time, he basically said he wasn't enjoying homeschooling. And so instead of going back to regular school, he's now going to an online school.
Okay.
But it's not an at-home online school. It's an online school at a different physical location. So,
yeah.
And at the same time, his younger brother, who was also kind of homeschooling with him, also decided he wanted to go back to preschool.
Oh.
So it's nice to get, don't get me wrong, it wasn't this or that or the other thing. It was just like, we wanted to respect their decisions. And at the time they both were like, we want to sit at home, stay home and study with you guys. And now, they both just changed to, we still like to study, just not with you guys. And I'm not taking it personally, which I don't think I should, but it's just nice to have them both. Too much of a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice to spend time with your kids, but when that's all you do, then it's just like you think about time that you have not with them.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware of that. Like, I'm learning that now, because sometimes when she's being extra needy or it's not needy. I don't want to say needy. She's agitated and she tends to be more clingy and doesn't let me do anything. That's annoying. And I feel bad to think that's annoying, because I should appreciate that she needs me right now. But when you need to make food and you're hungry and your child won't let you eat or sleep or like leave you alone, you need your space.
I could go through a long line of ideas, advice, verbiages. I think, one thing that quickly comes to mind is Louis C.K., as I pointed him out as such a role model before. But, he was like, once you have kids, you don't eat anymore. Well, you eat, but not meals. It's just whatever the kids don't eat over the sink really quickly. Like,
pretty much.
So, and then there's this whole idea of just like, forget the kids. You need to take care of you, because you can't give what you don't have. So if you're not, committed to yourself, but then at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, but just because I'm a little tired doesn't mean I can just let my child cry in their room for hours because I need a little bit of sleep. Like, there's like such a balance there,
I just think it's a phase. I look at it as there's a phase that she's going through. I've been sick, so she's been with my husband a lot more. Just because I didn't want to get her sick with COVID, I ended up having to quarantine myself for 11 days, stuck in a room.
And it must have been difficult. So
it was horrible. I kept peeking out the door, like trying to see if I could see her, because I missed her so much. And then finally, when I got out, she would like attach herself to my leg and she won't let me go. And now she will refuse to go to sleep at her bedtime so that she could hang out with me. And I'm hoping that ends here pretty soon, but She's pretty cute. I don't know.
But yeah, where we left off last was, so I live on a small island,
Mm-hmm.
and there are venomous snakes that inhabit the island, and their population at least triples the human population.
Oh, wow.
And about 2 weeks ago, I got off work, and I was calling my wife, as I usually do when I'm on my way home, like, hey, I'm done with work, I'm heading home. What are you up to? And she answers the phone, and she goes, can't talk now, venomous snake in the house, gotta go, bye.
Oh, that's scary.
And I'm like, I'm in a terrible position because it's like, if I freak out, I'm not helping anybody. Like, I can't alleviate the problem from where I'm from. I can't speed home because that's not going to help anything.
That's true.
You know, like if I got a speeding ticket trying to get home to catch the snake that I'm not prepared or ready to catch, you know, there are these professional snake catching sets, which we have half of, which I've decided is exactly not enough, because we have the box you can put the snake in, but we don't have the utensil to catch the snake with.
So the snake is venomous, correct? Is there any warning that they give before they bite, or?
Yeah, they coil up. They coil up before they strike.
Okay, so you kind of have an idea where they're going to strike.
Well, before they strike, they're going to coil. They can't just they can't just wake up and strike you. They have to do that coil, like curl up move with the snake, snake head pulled back from the coiled body, and then they lash out, right?
Uh-huh. I'm glad they're okay, actually.
Yeah, well, apparently, part of the house, like the floor and the wall separated in one part of the house. The house is a little older. And Sachika went to go put the vacuum away because earlier we were vacuuming the cars, because if you have children and you have cars, you understand that you must vacuum those cars.
Constantly. They're messy. It's disgusting.
Oh my God, I spend 30 minutes cleaning the back of the car and 2 minutes cleaning the front. It's ridiculous. So she went to go put the vacuum away. I had earlier in the day been cleaning the cars. And she went to go put it away, and apparently, like, I asked her afterwards, she's like, well, there was this piece of rope hanging off of the door where I usually keep the vacuum. And I was like, that's weird. And I turned around and it coiled up. And I was like, that's not a piece of rope.
Oh, gosh.
So it was her, my 7-year-old son, and our 5-year-old son. I mean, the 7-year-old is both of our sons.
Yeah.
You know, mine and her. Anyway, so we didn't have these snake catching rods that most people carry.
Uh-huh.
And our 7-year-old isn't good enough with Japanese to explain to the neighbor, hey, there's a snake in our house, could you please come help? So Sachiko my wife, she had to tell him, keep an eye over here, make sure the snake doesn't get away, because if he gets away, then we don't know where he is. So watch the snake while I go to my neighbors and try to convince them to come catch the snake for us, because hopefully they don't want us to die. So
I'm assuming you guys speak English at home.
Yeah, basically. Well, so when you have bilingual children, and I know you speak Spanish and a little other stuff. When I was learning about becoming a parent of a multicultural couple, or interracial couple, if you will, like the two main ideas are, you have parent and parent, which is, you speak your native language, they speak theirs, and then they kind of fall somewhere in between there. But there's a lot of negative side effects, like because of the culture you're in, they won't want to speak the language that's not the normal. Or if they have if they like mom more than dad or dad more than mom, then they'll refuse to speak the other language just to spite them, like weird, effects come out of that. So you just play, so the other idea, which is, as far as it is now considered a better idea, is home and community, which is, when we were in America, we only spoke Japanese in the house, because where else are they going to get the Japanese? Because everything outside of the house was English, American English. So now that we're in Japan, most of what goes on inside the house is in English.
Yeah, okay, that's what I do, just because that's easier for me, and my parents only really speak Spanish, and my in-laws speak English. So she just, I don't know, she picks up words here and there. She's just still too little. She's not very verbal, and that's like one of the things that kind of worries me because.
Wait, your daughter, you mean?
Yeah, my daughter. She's not as verbal as other kids her age.
Whoa.
Matt, you're very in the background.
Yeah, you're like far away.
Yeah, you gotta like.
I'm not. It's in my mouth. The microphone.
Okay, I can hear you now. Jackie, just to put your mind at ease, and my older son, he was behind on his quote unquote speech, or Matt, you even know, like we sent him to specialists and all these people because he just wasn't speaking at the level of everybody else, and they checked his hearing, they checked his mental aptitude, and everything was on point. He just wasn't talking.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's keep things light. What's going on? Oh, so I did mention this to my brother, but as you know, the island that I live on, or if you don't remember, it's called Amami.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a swimming school on Amami. It's the Amami Swimming School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I had one of the students that goes to my school. He also goes to the Amami Swimming School. And apparently they have their own merchandise. And one of the items you can purchase is a backpack where you can put in like towels and change your clothes or your swimsuit or things like that for when you attend the Amami Swimming School.
Okay.
And they decided to abbreviate this location. So as opposed to the Amami Swimming School, it's just a backpack for children that just reads the ass.
Dope.
Wait.
I want one.
Okay, so that's common to see.
The ass?
Well, no. Okay, so what I've noticed from watching, from what I've noticed looking at Japanese or Korean or Chinese fashion is they'll put the weirdest American phrases on their t-shirt, and children wear some of the funniest things. I think I saw it was a sexual joke on a little kid's shirt, and of course he doesn't understand what it means. No one does unless you speak English, but it was very vulgar. Is that common over there still?
Do you remember we were at the thing, and the kid was wearing the shirt that said "peanut butter motherfucker"?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Or girls will be wearing shirts that just says "fuck me in the thumb," and I'm like, what? I don't think they realize what they're wearing. You remember that one girl? She had a funny shirt in English at the supermarket, but we were still in the farmlands, and I just went running up to her. I'm like, "What does your shirt say?" But I was trying to hold
you were trying to show off on your chest.
She dropped her groceries
English,
and
could you show
sprinted
it? So he basically grabbed his nipple area and pulled it out, and she
started running
out and ran away from it.
Oh my god!
He dropped her groceries and sprinted home.
He pulled his nipples basically forward toward out her, and she just lost her mind.
Matt, that's aggressive.
It was pretty aggressive.
That was so
I was excited to see English.
Oh, Matt.
I was like, I recognize that. That's a letter.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's way worse stories. We could get into that for a whole probably year.
Let's not.
How's
not today.
How's our Instagram?
I want to get one of those shirts. That's one of the things when we go visit. As soon as all this COVID stuff is over, I want to get a really funny shirt that says something like "fuck me on the thumb." That'd be hilarious.
No,
dude, peanut butter motherfucker would be pretty great.
I don't like peanut butter.
No, Matt, I don't know if you were here. Robert came to visit a Swedish friend of ours, and
Bathing ape?
No, the Lego Nazi Japanese T-shirt.
Yes, I wasn't there,
but you saw the T-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. It was just, a playful little Lego version of Hitler in Japan on a T-shirt.
Dude, Hitler is huge in India right now. I don't know what's going on.
What?
Yeah, it's like a super niche fad, cold brew coffee or cold brew coffee was a couple years ago.
Let's compare cold brew coffee and Hitler.
What? I'm so lost.
I couldn't think of anything. I don't know.
No, I'm just messing with you, but I understand what you're talking about. It's just funny. It's a couple years ago it was cold brew. Now it's, the Fuhrer, and, we'll see what happens next year.
Casual racism. Sure. Why not?
Wonderful.
I don't know. So they have Hitler cafes. I assume they're not serving Hitler, so it's got to be like what, coffee and like clothing or something. I don't know.
Wait, they're
It's pretty
Hitler
wild.
cafes?
Yeah, dude.
What?
Seriously, just Google like
I'm
Hitler
gonna look that
cafes
up
India,
right now.
or just look up
Matt,
like Indian concession with
I
Hitler.
had to double check the thing that you mentioned about the
Oh, in
Wachowski
Mumbai.
sisters.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking weird.
It's
That's insane, man. It's,
Hitler Cross, from small bites to mega joys. The Nazi-themed cafe in Bangladesh, in Mumbai, Indonesia.
There's it's a
Yeah,
chain.
it's a chain.
Oh, good for them. They must
There's
be
an
doing well.
Indonesian Nazi bar called Soldat.
yeah, man. There's like camps of them all over.
What the fuck?
If this one's just called, you guys want to go check out Death to Jews?
No, I'm
I hear
not
that place
going
is
to
cool.
like. I'm not
Just-
going
I
to
wouldn't go.
put any
Yahweh,
money into
man.
this. They would have killed me.
Yeah. Well, why? For being a woman?
Well, no, I'm blue-eyed, brown-haired. I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm Latin. I would have been dead. You too,
Probably would have
Matt.
just taken your vagina.
No, you would have been dead too.
What?
You would have been.
For being overweight?
Ponder me this. So a guy with brown
Brown
hair and brown eyes convinced everybody that the superior race was not him.
Was Jew.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jesus.
No. He's like this guy Hitler with
He
brown
convinced.
hair and brown eyes. He's like, the superior race is blonde hair and blue eyes. Let's kill everybody who's not them.
Well,
And he was their leader.
He
and he
must
didn't
have-
have blonde hair or blue eyes.
he must have had the most amazing charisma, be able
Well,
to
that's what they
manipulate
say.
the shit out of people for them to not kill him.
We're still talking about him. That's how charismatic he was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because dude, do you know how many people I talked to? They're like, I wish I knew German so that I could listen to what he was saying in those speeches.
Dude. Yeah.
Well-
I like to think of as Norm MacDonald going scraggly craggly in his Hitler impression.
It's crazy. And all these like people that probably would have been taken to they're taking
definitely.
pictures
Most
with like the swastika, what's it called? Swastika on their shirts. And they definitely would have been killed. Oh gosh.
Dude, okay, so I got a couple stories. I don't know if you heard me saying like what the fuck happened to me last night. So it was like it was the second night in a row where I was about to walk. I was facing like 2 a.m. and looking at like 3 or 4 hours of work yet. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to stay up. Well, might as well eat like a weed brownie or something, right?
Oh.
So I ate a weed brownie. I ate way too much weed, and I had like a reawakening last night.
Wait,
so I wrote
what's
notes
a
down.
rebirth?
I ended up spending hours on a forum where people are discussing how we could prove whether or not we were in the Truman Show or a similar.
What?
I'll get there. Hold on. So first, I was posting an update, one of our highlights from this last episode on YouTube, right? And I was apparently I don't remember being in that episode at all because I was looking at the names of all the highlights which I made, and I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember.
Well,
Nope.
you were very
Okay.
distracted that episode. You were taking notes, which I don't know why.
Oh, I'm sure I was. I don't know. I'm sure I was using it for proof for my my fight tonight with anyway, long night. So I'm writing I just picked like the first one I thought looked entertaining and insightful. So it said Danny drops like one of the wisest lines I've heard in a while. It was like a great retort analogy to a very complicated question and idea. Is when she was trying to describe like how her emotions felt to her, like using a word or two. And she said her emotions to her are like a washcloth, as like far as getting rid of them and holding on to them goes. Like you can wring it and wring it and wring it, but it's still got to do a little air drying.
Mhm.
Right. And so I was trying to write a summary up and I just wrote something and I was like, that's it. All right, fuck it. I'm going to bed. And I turned back around and I had like, all it said in the box was, in this highlight, Danny fabricated a washcloth analogy. And I was like, oh, fuck, no pun intended. And so fabricated a washcloth analogy. I've just been giggling about that one, but oh.
Coming from
for
a
the big
professional
thing-
comedian as myself, I that message.
The other thing I wrote in this email to all of you was, I'm going to send it, so don't worry. I'll leave it unedited as well. But I met some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life yesterday. They're
What do you mean?
their strategy for proving that they were actually like not like in the Truman Show
Okay.
was like,
What's a Truman
it's,
Show?
You've never seen the Truman Show, Jim Carrey, right?
I know
okay.
Jim Carrey.
you know, it's a disease now. I think it might not.
It's a
have made it.
disease now.
Yeah, a Truman Show Syndrome. But I don't have
Okay.
it the way they have it.
Truman
There's
Show
this paranoia.
was,
I see
Jim
it. I
Carrey
pulled it
was the
up.
character, and it was like he was basically living in a reality show that he was unaware of. Like they would put in like strange like advertising in the middle.
His whole world was a set that he could never leave because he was on an island. His whole world was like a set that he was the only actor in that wasn't aware
Okay.
he was an actor.
Interesting.
Right.
And so he finally like, I'm not going to ruin
I'll watch
Can't
it
spoil
because
it.
it
It's
looks
20
good.
20-year-old movie. It's real fucking good. But it makes me question constantly whether or not I'm being watched by like a whole
Oh, definitely.
universe or world of people. Except for I got a couple things keeping me grounded. They're good.
Oh, okay, then I won't
but-
tell you.
The problem is like if you ask your best friend, they can't tell you, you know, they'd say whatever line was fed to them so that you wouldn't question it, right? So anyway, it ended up like reading about this like syndrome where they were talking about, and the diagnosable version of it is due to like delusions, right? Or being delusional and paranoid.
Well,
Except
I
I worry about it constantly.
Okay, well-
And it's not for those reasons. It's because I am too lucky. Like everything, my life always works out as bad as it can get. It always turns right around tenfold the next day. And it's just,
but
it
isn't
can't
that
be
life?
that nobody else is experiencing this. Mine is. For
Yeah,
sure.
like usually I'll go through a lot of bad and then have a lot of good. I just assume that's what
Exactly.
life is.
No, I think most people have mostly bad.
Well,
No.
a couple things. Yeah, I've spoken to a few people that I've known for a long time, and they're just like, hasn't life just been so horrible? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been so lucky with so much. Like, I don't.
Yeah. I think it's just the way you look at it. And if you want to go off that theory, like there are a lot of data out there now that confirms that we're in a simulation in a way, depending
Yeah,
on what your
I've
definition of a
seen-
simulation is. And it's possible that we're just a ant farm for a higher being. Like we're just a bunch of ants.
I was
like-
freaking out and crying because it was the first time I ever missed mom and I was high and thinking about
Oh
it.
gosh.
When was this?
Last night.
Last night.
This morning.
Yeah, while I was arguing with people. Yeah, it was the first time I said I miss mom without saying like something snarky like I miss fighting with mom or I miss arguing with mom. Like, right? And so dad was up and I was talking to him and I told him about the thing. And he said he read something by I think Kurt Vonnegut, where
Wait, he quoted
it's
Chris
a story about
Vonnegut? Yeah, that guy's all right. Go for it.
so it's a husband and wife get captured by aliens and they're kept in their zoo. So they are living in an alien zoo and all the aliens walk by and say they feel bad for these like people because they only experience 4 dimensions and they're living in a 5th dimension that they're not aware of. And all the aliens are like walking through or like being in it while they go visit the zoo. Right. And so to put that in perspective, that would be like, if an ant was in this world and he was on a beach ball and he just like walked like on the very center of it, walked straight and then just came up and hit himself like where his butt started pretty much, right? Like if you walk like across the axis around a beach ball as an ant, you would run into yourself like first thing, right?
No.
No, you would if the ball wasn't spinning. Picture it not spinning. So stand on top of a
Okay. I'm on a ball, right? And it's a sphere.
You're on Earth.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait. We need to get a little more.
If you walk straight,
I
on a
walked straight. I don't
beach
know.
ball,
If you-
volleyball, bowling ball, pool
He said
ball.
beach ball.
yeah,
He
it's
said a
beautiful.
sphere.
Oh, I didn't do that.
He's trying.
It's from
I
the
was
book.
busy ignoring things. You know, like when you stop paying attention.
Yeah. You disassociate because you're just
There you go.
bored.
So if you're standing on the earth, if water was all land, if this was all solid, and you just started walking straight right now and never turned, eventually you would end back up in that same point facing that same way.
Yeah. But why would I hit my
Okay.
butt?
Why would you? Oh, I'm saying like if you never left, if you just went forward, like visually, you would run into your butt while you were still. All right, that was probably a bad
Yes.
example.
Went forward in your mind's eye to the point where you circumnavigated the globe. Thank you, vocab. And you would eventually hit yourself in your own butt.
So it's pretty crazy. They're like, so imagine the aliens are talking to the guy. They're like, so imagine the world you're living in, right? Now imagine there's somebody else in your world who is taped back down on a train with their vision blocked so they can only see straight up. That's pretty much your existence in our universe. Right? Which is kind of fucked up to think about.
Well, yes, it is. But
Can you imagine being stuck to a train, like being forced to look up
well,
I get nauseous.
for the rest of your life? It's the only way you can remove one dimension and understand,
What?
you know? You can't remove time. It's too abstract.
No,
You can
there's
there are so many comments I have to that. but-
me too.
Oh, there's a lot. I want to read it before we discuss it, but I'm just telling you what Dad was saying. It was just a wild night.
Well, yeah, if you're a 3-dimensional being and a 4-dimensional being looks at you, yeah, it's terrible. And if you're a 3-dimensional being and a 5-dimensional being looks at you, then that's even worse. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck Flat Stanley. Wait, what'd you say? Oh, he's 2 less dimensions. Never mind. Oh, maybe. No, you're right, Tim.
Well, are you looking at this dimensionally as in mathematically being a flat 3D, 2D, 4D? Or are you looking at this as a
I
spiritual
lack depth.
2D, 3D, 4D, 5D?
That's
Because
interesting.
there's different ways to look at dimensions. There is
There
a mathematical way, which you can prove it with mathematics into the spirit realm. But if you're going to talk about it, you have to specify, I'm talking about the mathematically 2D form
Well,
versus...
Well, otherwise we couldn't really back our points up because there's no facts in those
Right,
other.
because there's a point where the third.
Oh my God, we're getting too highbrow, guys. Back it down. Talk about
Too
boobs and
highbrow?
stuff.
Oh, I had diarrhea the other day.
Highbrow.
You guys know diarrhea.
I love
Yesterday?
diarrhea. Dude, remember that pool sign we saw and it was like, if you have had diarrhea in the last 3 days or will have diarrhea in the next 3
Ew.
days. Like, please don't get in the pool. And Tim's like, we've gone 3 days without diarrhea.
Wait. That means he drinks too much coffee. 1. 2, why are you getting in the pool with diarrhea? You're gonna shit yourself. Like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna try to get away with it. It's gonna...
I got diarrhea.
You recovered
Damn
from
it! I
that.
came to the /hotel and I'm gonna live it up.
That's disgusting. I don't want to travel with you. I'm not...
I thought we were going to meet the
Yeah, but I'm not gonna stay in the same hotel as him.
No.
That's gross.
I wouldn't either.
Now I'm gonna question
We'll meet
whether
up for
he's
lunch.
like shitting himself every moment.
Where do you think he's taking this call?
Jackie, he's suggesting that I'm on the crapper while
Oh.
speaking with you.
I was actually suggesting you're in your office and you can't get up to go to the bathroom
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I
because
was
you're on
wrong.
a call.
But I mean, I was right, but
I
he
think I
was
might
wrong.
still be a
But-
little high and I made a jump that not everyone else took with me there. So we'll get
It
past
must
it.
be nice. It's early in the
Yeah,
morning
it's
and you're
pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. It is early in the morning. Wait, is it Monday
it's
too?
Monday.
That's great. It's going to be a good week.
No, it's Tuesday.
Oh wait,
Oh,
yeah,
What
you're
are you talking?
Tim.
across the world.
Oh, damn, Tim. Fuck. That's right. It just turned Tuesday. Yeah.
What were we supposed to talk about?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I got worried we got highbrow.
What's a highbrow?
I just wanted to tell you. Oh, it means like we got on a high horse and we got like we act like we think we're better and smarter than
I
everyone
don't
else.
act like that, do I?
No, we were all getting close, so I I suggested we bail, and that's we talked about diarrhea.
Or you could
You know,
continue
like,
having the
Bail?
conversation.
Yes, please. 10,000 to make it to court on Monday. What are we talking about?
Oh my god.
You remember the time I shit my pants?
Actually, I did recently as an adult. I was really
Dude, I've done it
wait.
at least 10
No,
times.
I've only done it twice, and one was like right after.
Like, you're 23. So it's gonna be the same when you're 33.
It was an accident. I went to go.
That's why they're called accidents. That's the exact term that they use for when you poop yourself. You call it an accident.
It was.
Nobody's ever gone like, I just did a purpose.
So I did a lot of marketing events.
I just did a purpose.
So nobody's ever shut their pants and gone, hey guys, look, I just did that on purpose.
Actually, babies do. They do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Artemis does it on purpose.
I think he did. Well, she's a baby and
dude, the kids do. They come out and they make those eyes at you, like,
or their face.
no. The worst thing about the kids is they'll poop themselves, and you're like, okay, you pooped yourself. They're like, no, I didn't. It's like, come on, like in a court of law here. Why are you trying to lie to me about this? Can you just? Like, and it's not even like they can get away with it. It's like eventually you have to clean it up.
They might not just want the moment of you changing them.
It's terrible.
That's true. My daughter luckily does not know how to say yes or no yet, but I like encourage her to poop so that soon I can start potty training her. I'm like, good job, baby. Good job. You're doing such a good job. Keep pooping.
You're going to be like her poop
cheerleader?
I
am. Because you want to start potty training
awesome.
them as soon as possible so that you don't have to deal with diapers.
That's like right around what, like one?
Yeah, Jackie, do you know the latest form of parenting, which I slightly embrace, but yet kind of don't? It's like you're not supposed to applaud or disapprove of anything. You're supposed to give them their own opportunity to judge their own actions. So we're going back to our grandparents. So we got 3 styles. Well, no. So the idea is like if they complete a math, I know 2 isn't exactly the age for a math assignment, but apparently, so like here's the conventional wisdom of today is if your child has a homework assignment and they complete the assignment and they get a good grade, you don't say good job, you say, what happened? Oh, well, I got a good grade. And you say, okay, well, how do you feel about that? And that's the end of it.
Wow. That's
but
fucking
do they
crazy.
recognize that they have?
Which, don't get me wrong, I understand the idea. It's if you're always seeking approval, then it'll create a bad.
Tim, this directly applies
to
me
time,
and
it's
you.
Just like, oh, you got 100%. What do you think about that? I don't care. It's like a disassociation.
That's crazy.
When you're doing that, how do they recognize that that's a good or bad thing? Like, how do they recognize that they should be proud of it?
Right. Like, how do you assign good or bad? You're just leaving it up to them. And monkeys went up left to their own devices. I'm not calling my children or anybody's children monkeys. I'm just saying, the point of a parent is to give some kind of guidance. So if you're just like, okay, whatever you do, I'm not going to pass any judgment. You just figure it out on your own. It's like, well, then why aren't they orphans? I'm not saying that. That's I'm exaggerating to make a point. No, it makes
sense. I find that interesting.
Right.
Actually, I've been running into that a lot, especially with like how my husband was raised versus me, and how Matt's been raised versus me. For example, my husband, great parents.
Was raised similarly.
His parents are great. They overlooked him. They gave him everything he needed. They gave him all 5 versions of the love language that he needed to grow up, right?
All right, can I stop right there? 5
so your 5 love language is physical touch, acts of service, quality time. What's the other 2? Damn it, I always forget. No, you learn it. I learned it through a book that helps you build relationships. Okay. So you have to learn each other's love languages. The other one would be gifts and...
Mine would definitely be compliments.
Yeah, and then affirmations, verbal affirmations. So his parents gave him all 5 love languages. And now that we're married, one of the number one things, I communicate to him all the time what I need from him. Hey, these are some of the things that I need to feel love. Can you please do it? And it's been a couple years, and I've been trying to give him chances. And finally, like the last 2 weeks, I told him, hey, it's not working this way. I really need this from you. I feel unloved because of this. And he realized, like, I take you for granted completely. You give me all 5 like my mom does, and I just take it for granted. he didn't realize that not all parents do this for their children, and not all wives do this for their husbands.
He learned it very early in life because most people don't know
he
that
didn't realize
when they
it
die.
was missing until
Right.
I told him, hey, like, I need these things from you. And he started noticing that I was pulling back, like, emotionally because it was starting to hurt me. And he was like, all these things that you did for me, I didn't recognize that normal people don't do this. And then I started noticing with Matt has the same issue. Like, he has, well, not issue, I wouldn't call it issue. He receives these certain, no, Matt, no one's perfect. But
Jesus was, I think. Like, I think. Anyway, I agree.
yeah, like he likes to receive these certain love languages, and sometimes it's a little too much for me that I can't always give. I'm just starting to notice in other people how they were raised and how these love languages affected them as an adult. And
I need like
their
5 women
relationships.
to like take care of the amount of emotional attention I need to feel validated or valid, I should say.
Do you have the same issues, Tim?
Tim's way on the other side. It's kind of weird.
No, I don't have that.
First child, second maybe?
How can I say this? I definitely appreciate approval or compliments from people, but it's thank you, but I don't need you to say that. It's I approve of myself. And anything you say to enhance that is wonderful and appreciated. So I don't want to sound like, arrogant by saying this, but it's like I've proven myself to myself, so I don't need your compliments. But when I get them, it's nice. Like,
well, what are your 5 love language? Out of the 5 that I give you, what would you consider some of the things that you feel love from your significant other?
Wait, can you read the first 2? Just read the whole list again,
sorry,
please.
not to sound terrible, but could you read those back to me, because I could probably tell you what those are, but it just right around 3 or 4. There was a bit of a conversation, and then it kind of distracted me.
Physical touch, verbal affirmations,
yes,
quality time,
nope,
acts of services, and
what's that? Like doing a good deed, or like doing
laundry, or cleaning the house for you,
favors,
or kind of favors, or gifts.
Cool.
Quality touch, quality time. I don't know.
Usually people only have 2, depending on what their parents didn't give or gave. They start to
affirmation and touch.
Yeah, so
quality touch, quality time.
Wow, that's weird.
The main things that are a main a thing within our family unit. I'd rather just say family, but for some reason I need to throw in the unit. It's affectionate touch and cool time together. Like, especially in Japan, a lot of families are just kind of there because they're related, but I make it a point that our family has family time. And our kids also appreciate the fact that we have family time, And so it's, make sure we hug and touch each other, and make sure that we play with each other, whether it's Wii games or puzzles or hide and seek or tickle monster, those are the 2 that I would say are
Tim.
part of our family dynamic.
If what's sad is anybody that grew up like anywhere within like 50 miles of me and is like 33 would right now be screaming gay.
Why?
At the thought of that, that's fucking how weird that's how wild that is a thought for me. Hey everybody, thanks for listening this far, and I didn't think you'd make it. We appreciate it very much. Just if you could do us a favor and go find us anywhere and follow us, rate, subscribe.
We'll be under the tree meditating.
Yes.
Go find us.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my head.
I was hoping you would say ass.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my ass.
Like a unicorn.
Yeah, like, wait, what? Well, we're at Twitter, Magic for Humans, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. The link is through the website on that one, which is magicforhumans.com as well. Oh, we have a second Instagram, which is Magic for Humans, the number 4, and then with an S.
Like, comment on all our pictures, videos, and download, and give us stars on the iTunes, please. The iTunes.
Yes, especially the iTunes. But anywhere you get your podcasts or podcarts, rate, subscribe, and comment, please. We will read the positive comments on air.
Ooh, that's nice.
We'll read the negative ones too, because it'll be fun. Don't leave negative ones though.
If anyone leaves us a 1-star rating, I will go and murder you in your sleep, in your dreams, and then you'll wake up and be murdered again every time you go to bed.
You'll be living the same day over and over. It's like
But you're not sure if you're awake or asleep.
It's deja vu. And please feel free to go to the website and send in any art. Music is great. Drawings are great.
And
Jokes are
anything
great.
that you find that inspire you from our podcast, we will gladly look at it, post it, or even promote you as well. So thank you very much for any artwork that's sent in.
Yes, thank you very much. Go to the website, check out our gallery there where we're going to have, featured artists and featured selected art. Also on the website, we do have Venmo and PayPal if you want to support us to get this,
Dollar
project
goes
off
a
the
long
ground.
way.
It
Yes.
really does. Our editor isn't cheap, and I talk a lot. Help. Back to the show.
Dude, no, Bill Burr sums it up so well. And I know you guys did like the countdown to 5 comedians or whatever. And I kind of agree, but totally disagree with some of your choices.
Oh, wait a minute.
But Bill Burr spills it up perfectly. It's like, I want to be a nice, compassionate guy, but anytime I think of doing anything nice for anybody, there's just this voice in my head that's like, faggot.
Yep.
That's your time period. That's
there.
just the time you guys grew up, because that is
Every
no
time I
longer an
cry-
issue now.
About a song or a movie or a commercial.
But here's the thing. I acknowledge that that's definitely there, but I don't go away from my true self to ignore it. Like, it's like, I understand that when I say, like, I have my family and my family time and I'm going to do this with my children and I kiss my kids on the lips, even though they're, blah, 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 blah. And people can be like, gay.
Why is that gay?
Yeah, I don't care. Your opinion doesn't affect me enough for me to change my behavior.
That's good. That's healthy.
Well, that thought process, the fact that you guys have that inner voice saying that is not right or it's not accepted to be emotional.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I need to voice the fact as something not right being gay. It's just the verbiage that we grew up with.
Dad taught us it was okay. Our friends didn't.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Dude, we weren't even allowed to listen to certain bands.
I understand it's not healthy, but do you understand? You understand insults throughout the years, like, evolve and progress as well as the language and everything else. So we were young. The insult was gay. I'm not saying that gay or homosexuality is a bad thing. I'm just saying the word gay
with the word to
like
hurt people's feelings.
So you don't think that
right? It was the word to hurt people's feelings. And I'm not saying that anybody who's gay is bad or anything. It was just like if somebody called you that was an insult.
Yeah,
in that
I never realized that was what it meant.
Right? No. We had a game. We had a game where you got a football, you threw it up in the air, somebody caught it, and then you tried to tackle that guy as hard as you could. And the game was called Smear the Queer.
I wonder what they're calling it now.
That was the name of the game. And we never stopped to analyze it. We were little kids. We never stopped to analyze what it meant. It was just the name of the game.
What do you think they call it now? If
not that, definitely.
Oh, no, definitely not that. I said, what do you think? Destroy the faggot.
Don't make me come up with a name on the spot, dude.
I don't know what they would call it anymore.
You're the Zier?
Dude, they would probably call it like go tickle your friend or something.
What? No, that's...
But no, seriously. Jackie, there was a game where you would try your best to beat the crap out of the person who was holding the ball, and the name of the game was Smear the Queer. And there was nothing...
We played it every day.
So as y'all have grown up and stuff... But as y'all have grown up,
the game.
Do those?
Oh my god! You got a second. You got a second, Matt. Rolling.
So as y'all have grown up, has the definition of that word changed for you guys, or is it still negative in your head? Not the definition of the word. Not like saying like you were against gays, but that word, is it still a negative word in your head that someone calls you gay?
Yes. Oh, no, it's not negative in my head, but I do scream it sometimes when I definitely should not. It's hard to unwire that fucking trigger.
Right. So to Matt's point, it's not that I personally have any problem with that. It's that I know people from my era use it as an insult.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know about still, but I remember like if you were in junior high and somebody called you gay, it was like them was fighting words. And I don't mean anything like I felt something about gay people, so that was offensive. Just like that was the word to you hurt you. It was like if they didn't like you, they would call you that.
Interesting.
I could put it in perspective for you, right? So from now on, starting now, today, okay, the word ice cream, you can't say ice cream anymore. Ice cream means punch me in the vagina, right?
No.
Okay, so now every time you want ice cream, you have to say fire water. Now try moving forward with your life and tell me you wouldn't fuck that up once. You know what I mean?
I understand, because in elementary school, gay and faggot were still like negative words in elementary school. And I guess through middle school, it kind of stopped. It was like, don't say that, that's mean. Or like people became aware of that word when I was in middle school. But
you're like,
I still in my head, like anytime, like part of me is like, I should defend someone and tell them not to say that word, because that's bad to like use that word as a negative thing. And then at the same time, that word meant like you making fun of someone in a playful way in elementary school, or like you picking on someone.
Right. Wait, so that was still a word when you were finishing junior high? Like an insult word? It
was an insult word like up into my sophomore year. And then people started coming out at that time. Like it was kind of like in Florida. I was in middle school in Florida. And it was only there for a year. And they were like starting to say like, oh, I'm coming out. And people started saying, oh, I'm bi, I'm gay, or whatever. But it was still seen as like very negative. And people were like, especially with my grandparents and my parents, they grew up in Colombia and Italy. So they're like, oh, you can't be around those people. And like, I at that time was like questioning myself. And I was like, oh gosh, I like girls. And oh, it's a big sin. Those people are going to go die in hell and be burned on. It was just, But it started getting like accepted when I was in eighth, So my senior year, I did only 2 classes here, and I was in online school, and then I was also in college at the same time. I was part of a Christian church, one of the largest ones here, and I was part of the church's band. I was well known. The boyfriend I had at the time was also well known. So they kind of talked about that kind of stuff. And then we got sat down for like a sex talk and how it wasn't that bad, actually. It wasn't like be celibate your whole life. I actually really appreciate this lady. The way she explained it to me was the reason God told you to save yourself from marriage is so you wouldn't have so much hurt by the time that you had sex with someone you loved. It wasn't about my purity or anything. She explained it like every person that you have sex with takes a piece of you, even whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
And you are giving it once you're married and you do it within a marriage, you're always going to remember your past partners. And she was kind of right. Like even now that I'm married, I still remember my past partners, good and bad. And it's always like a part of you. So that was like the best way I've ever been explained why I had to save myself to marriage.
So how long did you then?
Oh, I did.
17, 18?
I was already having sex with him.
Oh, God.
I lost my virginity to him. He lost his virginity to me.
And you guys were the church leaders or the youth leaders?
Yes.
Great.
But
pointing everyone in the right
wasn't
direction, like an ant on a beach ball.
It was actually really nice and romantic and sweet.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't tainted in any way. But now as I'm married, whenever I think about that, even though I don't believe that you have to, I just believe that you need to make sure that you're respected and loved in a way.
Do you not regret it, but do you wish that you both would have saved it until you're married?
No.
Okay. Not wish that, but
Grayson didn't have that many partners before me either.
Oh, word.
So, sometimes I think about his other partners. I'm like, what if they're better than me? Like, you always have that what if. Like, what if they're better than me?
They probably are in some of the parts.
Oh yeah, because there's some things I don't like doing.
Oh, this will be fun.
But that's why, like, I just think I'm probably going to teach this to my daughter. I'm probably going to tell her, when you're ready and you're with someone that respects you for you and your body and will truly take care of you,
yeah,
go for it.
Good.
But not be like pressured into it.
Right. She didn't like really not then she's only 1'5". I was gonna say she's not gonna see much time in a church, right?
No, not at all.
Word. That's probably for the better,
if she
'cause
chooses
I got scared
to,
out of it. Yeah.
That's different. Like I chose to when I was in my senior year, but if I was forced to, I probably would have been gone. And I appreciate that lady. She really made me feel not disappointed in myself, because the guy I was dating at the time made me feel guilty for wanting to have sex with him, even though he wanted to have sex with me too. Yeah, he was weird.
Is that where you became or got your
No, I've always had like my weird fear with sex, but
I meant manipulative precision. Like I don't know. You describe yourself as being a person who can manipulate well and easily.
I learned that from my mom.
Oh, duh. Yeah, we've already gone through that.
Okay, I actually have to go pick up my friend.
You're good. So Jackie, he said, tell her what an Irish exit is. It's when you leave without saying a word.
All right, well, I'm going to make an Irish exit.
Irish exit.
Irish exit. Bye, guys.
All three on the count of three.
Okay, thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. This has been fun.
Bye.
Bye.